So I've been using the 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro for the past 3 months, and I thought I'd get a quick review out there just to give you an idea of what a general user experience is with the system. Like I said, I bought it in October, been using it for about 3 months, so I'm going to go through some likes, dislikes, and kind of go over a conclusion and what my final thoughts are at the end. I'm going to try to make this short. There's a lot of lengthier videos out there if you want to watch those and get a more in-depth on the system, but I'm going to try to give you what my likes, dislikes were over the past couple months. So a few things. This 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro. It's the base $2,399 model. Quad-core i7, 16 gigabytes RAM, the Radeon 555 graphics card, 256 gigabyte SSD. So a few things I like about it is the display is one of the most color accurate displays on the market. It's extremely bright, color accurate if you're doing any type of video editing, photo editing, any type of graphics work that requires color accuracy. This is one of the top 3 or 4 out there. The Lenovo P51 4K displays about this, maybe a little better color accuracy wise, but this thing is extremely color accurate. So if you need anything like that, this is the way to go. Another thing I liked about it is just how powerful it is for how slim it is. It's an extremely slim system. It's well designed. It's one of the better designed laptops out there. It looks phenomenal. It's just overall built extremely well. Massive trackpad. It's the best trackpad I've used. It's got a nice keyboard. It does have the chiclet keyboard, so it does take, or the butterfly mechanism keyboard, so it does take some getting used to because their travel is so short. So go to an Apple store, play around, or Best Buy, play around with one and see if you like it first. It takes a couple days, but I actually like the keyboard. It doesn't bother me at all. A couple other things I like is just overall Apple support. I've had really good luck with the support on my phones through them, and I'm within 30 miles of a couple Apple stores, so it's nice to be able to go in and talk to someone in person, set up an appointment. That's a really nice feature that no other laptop manufacturers have out there. So those are some of my likes about the system. Overall, I've really enjoyed using it over the past 3 months. It's light to carry around, good customer support. I do some photo editing here or there, so the color accurate screen is really nice. So that's everything I like about the system. Some of my dislikes are that everything has Thunderbolt USB-C, so you have to carry around dongles if you want to do an SD card, a standard USB. Even if you want like an Ethernet, plug that in, you need some type of dongle to carry around for it, which is a little annoying. I know this is the way the future is supposed to be going, but nobody's there yet. It wouldn't have hurt them to put a couple standard USB ports and maybe an SD card slot, which almost everybody uses nowadays for storage and photos and videos. So that would be nice. Another thing that it's kind of annoying with this system is the battery life. It either is 2 to 4 hours or 8 to 9. It's never consistent. And I know it depends on what you're doing, but it just seems like overall the battery life is not quite as good as I was expecting it to be. That's what everyone always said, is that Apple's MacBooks always had really good battery life. Well, this one will get you probably 4 to 5 hours from just general data. More, but it just depends what's going on. Another thing I don't really like is the touch bar, mainly because it's so laggy. I mean, a lot of times to wake it up, you gotta touch it to wake it up, and then to change the display. It either works really well or it really doesn't. So it just depends on how the system wants to run that day or that time. I prefer just standard keys. It's cool to show off to people, but I don't think in actual use it's very practical. So another thing that I don't like about the system is the price. Everyone knows that these things are extremely expensive, close to $2,400. So just file management. Apple only supports one file system. So I have a bunch of these older hard drives that have a bunch of my photos and videos and stuff on them from my old desktop. When I hook them into here, the system doesn't support that file, or that file type, so what I'd have to do is reformat the whole drive, which would erase everything on it, and it's it would just be a mess to actually be able to just plug this in and use it. There's no way to upgrade it. So if something happens to your SSD or your RAM, you're stuck taking it into the Apple store and having them fix it, which is going to be extremely expensive. And I'm also not quite sure on how reliable this is. There's been a ton of issues with the keyboard about getting dust underneath them, and then if you go to press on it, they either don't work or they incorrectly input, like let's say you want to put a J in keyboard issues. I've had issues really with mine. Sometimes dust will get underneath and it'll register like if you do a period, it'll do 3 periods instead of 1, but I find if you just mash on the key at some point it gets it out and it kind of resolves the issue there. So it does run a little hot when you really crank things up. It will do some gaming, so you can do some gaming on it, but it'll run really hot. So keep that in mind. So if you're looking for a system out there for photo editing, video editing, I would probably steer clear of this. Maybe look at an XPS 15 or Lenovo, the T470S or the P51. There's all kinds of systems out there that I would probably look at before this, mainly because they're so much cheaper and you can kind of work on them yourself if you're able to do that. You replace usually the RAM, the SSD, and things like that. So that's it. Sorry, hopefully this isn't too long, but overall I probably wouldn't recommend this system unless you're really in the Apple ecosystem, which it does help. If you have an iPhone and a computer, it just everything syncs together, which is nice, but I still probably wouldn't recommend it. I'd probably look around, go to Best Buy, play around with some laptops before you go spending a fortune on one of these. So that's it. If you have any questions below or have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll answer them the best I can. Hope everyone's having a good holidays, and see you guys next time.